Well, dating in 2026 is not for the faint of heart. Most of the action takes place entirely on apps, with many users struggling to find matches who are willing to meet up in real life. Now, pair that with AI profiles, and the search for love has become a marathon and not so much a sprint.
Now, these conditions were what led Australian businesswoman Holly Barter to start her company. For 8 years, she's been helping singles perfect their profiles, find matches, and even chatted to potential partners on their behalf. And Holly joins us live from the Gold Coast now. Holly, welcome.
Hi, how are you going?
We're great, thank you. Now, this is a pretty wild idea. Talk us through exactly what it is that you offer.
So I really offer everything from a basic kind of profile refresh, so the photos, the bio, does everything feel cohesive? I also offer pre and post date downloads so they can chat to me about what worked, what might have been improved. And then we have my level 3, which is my all access area, which is really where I go in and match and swipe and communicate as the client. So that's what I call my ghost matching service.
Wow, okay. So, do many clients reveal to their partners that they were actually initially chatting with you? Because I think sort of ethically this could be like you think you're matching and having a great vibe with someone, but in the initial process it's actually they're vibing with you, not with Mary Lou or Joe or Susan.
Yeah, look, that is one of the number one questions I get is what happens after. For my understanding, none of my clients have ever revealed to matches that they've gone on to then date more seriously that they have worked with me in that capacity. But where I step in is really the early phases of sort of cutting down to that short list for my clients versus flirting, getting into any in-depth conversation. And I have a very detailed kind of questionnaire and bespoke process for those select clients. So I really try and find their tone of voice and lean into that, and then leave the really kind of meatier, more interesting conversations for when they meet up in person. So that's super important. But yes, hopefully no one is interested in my personality specifically, but this way I can just cut out that legwork initially for those clients that have very little time or just really need that hands-on support.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's true that the dating landscape has changed so much in the past 8 years while you've been doing this, but why do you think so many singles find it particularly challenging right now?
I think it's a mix of more choice than ever before, and we're seeing more data coming out that I think it's heterosexual men especially are looking to date online more monogamously because more choice doesn't mean better connections. So people are realizing I actually have to be more intentional about this. There are, of course, all the horror stories and nightmare stories. If it hasn't happened to a friend, it's happened to a friend of a friend. I think there are a lot of good people out there as well that simply aren't communicating themselves and presenting themselves well enough online, so they fall through the gaps, and you're left with people who may not have the best intentions or are people who are just on there for kind of a confidence boost or a pen pal.
Okay, so you need to give us some top tips when hitting the dating apps.
So look, number one, photos always come first. It's tricky to hear, but you want to get your first 1 to 3 hero photos right. Then you want the bio to have some hooks, some mystery there, something for people to latch onto that they can't just extract from the images they see. Using humour, I see a lot as well. It's great, but it can become kind of a mask for some people. So don't be scared to reveal a little bit about yourself and what you're looking for versus everything being a very lighthearted kind of joke. Number 4 would be just being intentional. There are some people who use the strategy of I match across everyone and just see who comes back to me. But being intentional will mean you'll get better connections over time and hopefully meet that one person, because it does only need to be, for the most part, that one right person that needs to find your profile. And then the 5th would really be that if you're feeling cynical, if you're feeling burnt out, that will come across in your messages. So take a break, think of refreshing your profile. You could use support like something I have with Matchsmith, or go to friends and family for some advice, but take the breaks when you need them, and then you can re-engage with a fresh head.
Right.
What about spotting if someone is maybe not a good match?
Not a good match is going to be someone that is possibly not answering basic questions. So they might be a little bit evasive, they and ah about when they might want to meet up, exchanging numbers, that kind of a thing. Obvious things like real value mismatches from the get-go, and many apps try and kind of have icons that you can add to showcase what are really important things for you. And of course, the really obvious, red flags are going to be things that if someone's making you uncomfortable, asking for, inappropriate images, sending inappropriate images, or just being very pushy of your boundaries, that's kind of where I'd say step back and reassess if you want to move forward with that conversation.
Now, Holly, before we let you go, we want to throw some online dating tropes your way. We're going to play a game of red flag, green flag.
Love it.
So let's start with one. Most of the pictures on their profile are group shots.
Look, it's kind of an orange flag. It can feel like it's a nice way to show you're very popular, but again, no one knows how to find you. So if they're in those 1 to 3 shots and people have to look to see you, that's possibly a red flag.
Okay, what if they diss their exes in their bio?
Red flag, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
When you've matched and started a conversation, they wait 24 hours to reply to you. What do we think?
Look, a red flag, unless someone truly has that kind of a job or you know, family commitments where they've been upfront about that from the start, but waiting too long, you miss that momentum and everything slows down and it becomes frustrating for the person on the other side. So red flag.
Yeah. And finally, what if they have the classic fish photo on their profile, as modelled here by Larry Emder?
Look, I'm sorry, Larry, but that is a red flag. Definite red flag.
Putting fake abs and fake pecs on is a red flag
in Larry's
too,
defence,
really,
I think that is something the producers have just... he does not have a dating profile picture. Nor does he look like that.
Doesn't have abs
Holly,
like that
thank you. So from what I'm hearing, you're like this sort of like resume zhuzha and a bit of a filter so that people can then... You're setting them up so that they can then go forth and do well on the apps.
Yeah, just Matchsmith allows you to get some objective advice. Friends and family are great, but I've known many clients who've said their friends and family will say, oh, you're perfect just as you are, you don't need to change a thing. But this is really about your personal branding online, what you want to project, and that's where I come in.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay,
Thank you so
all makes
much,
sense.
Holly. It's been great to talk to you.
Thanks, Holly.
You too. Thanks, guys.